was looking for a nursery for Rome, and this is probably going to offend people, but I don't really care. So we were looking for a nursery for Rome, and we went into this one nursery, and me and Dan went in there, and there was morbidly obese women looking after these kids, and it was like we went into like the baby room because Rome was only like tiny at the time. We went into this baby room, and there was this fucking thing. She was huge. She was like literally just like a blob, just sitting on the floor with all the babies around her. She, oh yeah, sometimes they have like 30 kids in it. I was like, right, like there's no movement at all going on from this bird. And we walked out, said to Dan, I'm like, there's no way my son is coming in.
Daddy, Dad.
What?
I love you, Dad.
Oh, okay. Love you too.
Welcome back to Relatable Dads Unscripted, figuring out fatherhood one honest conversation at a time. My name is Ruel.
I'm AJ, and today we are asking the question, big kids, big question, is childhood obesity bad parenting?
Oh,
I can see
turn
us,
to some feathers.
Yeah, 100%. I can see us having a lot of complaints about this one. I can see us having a lot of topic points and people kicking off. But
look, at the end of the day, we're probably going to upset some people. Some people are probably going to be a little bit like, oh, that sounds a bit harsh or whatever, because we're going to say honesty from two personal trainers' perspectives. We've both probably dealt with kids that are overweight, and so we're going to speak honestly, and hopefully we can give some potential advice as well as PTs, I imagine. Yeah. And this is at least a role that we are actually well trained in. So yeah, so let's kick it off, mate.
So all right, let's go with the first point. Is child obesity bad parenting? Yes or no, in your opinion?
But if we're just going to be literally yes and no, I'm going to say yes. But I think there's a lot more elements to it. There's a lot more things, but definitely, yeah. I think at the end of the day, if your child is overweight, if it's a child, it's young, it's on you. Yeah. It's got to be on you. What's your opinion?
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. I thought it was going to be anything else.
Obviously, there are exceptions to the rule. If your child is ill, if your child's going through certain like medical issues, then that's like completely null and void of this whole topic point. So I'm not trying to go for any like children with disabilities, nothing like that.
Yeah, of course.
If your kid isn't physically able, then like it's not on that at all. We're talking about, I don't want to say normal, but we're talking about
healthy kids,
able-bodied children. Yeah, and the ones that spend 6 hours a day on an iPad. I'm talking about those kids. Then it is your fault as a parent. And the reason I wanted to talk about this with you was because I've recently come back from Rome and I went to the beach with my missus and kids.
Right.
And we was on the beach and I saw a woman who was morbidly obese. And she was wearing one of those fucking, looked like a wetsuit. She was like, because she felt uncomfortable in how she looked. So her and another female family member, maybe a sister, I don't know, they're wearing pretty much the same thing with a t-shirt over the top. They felt uncomfortable in their body image. And their son was walking along the beach and he was fat as fuck. And I was like, nah. Like, he was fat. And I'm thinking, you don't feel comfortable in your own skin. And you're allowing your son then to follow in your footsteps and not feel comfortable in his own skin when he gets to an adult. So I was like, whilst I was on the beach, I was like, Rue, I've got a topic point I want to talk to you about. Next fucking episode, we're talking about child obesity and how it's bad parenting, because I think it's bad parenting. So I was on a rant whilst I'm sitting there on the beach
next to him.
Yeah. In an idyllic like setting and everything else. And I said to my missus, I was like, damn, I'm disgusted. I think like this is what I need to talk about. So this is where
this conversation
came.
No, I think at the end of the day, right, to say it is bad parenting. I think it is bad parenting. I think there is a lot of reasons as to why a parent might not be able to do that for their kid. Or there's a lot of education around. I think there's so many different avenues, and we've got some topic points like, schools as one part, there's friends as another part, it's whether the parent is able to cook and things like that. And But I just don't think there's enough education around health.
Mm.
And we've spoken in another podcast about what the most important thing in life is. And realistically, the most important thing in life is life, right?
Yeah.
So if you're morbidly obese, your chances of living for a long period of time is drastically reduced.
Mm.
So that should be the most important thing that we teach our kids.
But like going back to what we were saying before about being selfless and self-back in terms of parenting. I feel like you're being selfish by not giving your kid the best
starting life.
Best starting life.
100, yeah.
And sugar is, as we spoke previously, sugar is about as addictive as fucking crack. So, like, allowing your kid to just smash sugar down his face, you might as well just take him to the pub and get him to become an alcoholic.
Yeah, no, I do agree. I'll put my hand up and say I'm definitely like a sugar addict, as we joke about it. I love sugar. I'm always eating far too much sugar, but I'm very aware of it.
So I'm drinking my water.
Yeah, and I'll drink my juice. No, I do like sugar. I don't drink. I don't do drugs. I don't smoke. I don't even eat I don't drink fizzy drinks or anything like that. I don't eat really many crisps. But there are a few things that I'm got a sweet tooth. I like sweets and I like chocolate. So that's my thing. But
don't
yeah.
get me wrong, this isn't me saying that my diet is clean, because it's by far it's not.
Yeah. It's a balance, isn't it?
Yeah, and like my kids, they eat a whole host of different shit foods which I wouldn't necessarily approve of. But I agree. But it's everything in moderation.
Yeah.
So and there's also you have to have that level of self-discipline where you're like, I love one bag of crisps. Don't get me wrong, one bag of crisps ain't enough.
Yeah, no.
I'm like, I can easily smash another 2 or 3 bags.
Yeah,
But like, no, because I know that ultimately it's not going to do me no good in the long run.
You've got to think of what is nutritionally going into the body. Right?
Yeah.
So, I mean, ultimately, that you're getting the calories in because you need that energy, but then you're not getting any of the nutrients in that you need for the other stuff from other parts of your body. And this is kind of where I fail to like a lot of my nutrition. I know nutrition very well. I've been a personal trainer for over 20 years. I'm very aware of my nutrition and how, what, and everything else I need to eat. I'm very aware of I can do better, a whole lot better. I've got a balance because I eat a whole load of good foods, and all of my meals are, I don't eat McDonald's and things like that. All of my meals are like homemade meals, not like jars and stuff. I make my meal from scratch. So I cook well, but in the same breath, I eat a lot of sugar. I eat a lot of sweets myself. But I think there's a lot more education needed in food. And like you say, that balance is crucial. Having the ability. I'm one of those people that I won't buy a little bag of sweets. I'll tell you why I don't buy the bag of sweets. I blame the shops. I blame the shops.
Price-wise.
Because I can't, there's two sides to me, right? There's this side of me that I'm not going to say what I would normally say, right?
Well, say it.
I'm not saying it.
All just want to know what you were going to say. Say it.
Right, there's one side of me that's like that sort of cheap side of me that's basically like, look, I ain't wasting any money. If it's £1 for a small bag or £1.05 for like a big bag, it doesn't make financial sense to do it for the small bag, right? So I'm like, well, financially it makes more sense. And if I split that bag down, so now I'm just going to eat the whole bag, innit? So, because I can't help it. And when I'm gaming with the boys at night, well, I have a bag of sweets, you know what I mean? Or maybe 2 bags of sweets.
So I used to do traffic management, and traffic management is renowned for, like, you literally sit in a van. You put your job out, you sit in a van for 3-4 hours, then you take your job down. So I was bad. I'd like buy loads of junk food because you just end up watching a TV series or you end up watching a film.
Sounds like a good job.
It's fucking one of the easiest jobs in there, honestly. So that carry on and big up to him. But so I would do that job, and I'd go and get to the shop and buy a shitloads of stuff. But then in my head, I know that I'm only going to have I don't know how I'll manage to get this, but I've got that level of I'll have half a bag of sweets. I'll buy the big bag, but I'll only buy I'll only have half of it, and I'd have a big bag of crisps, and I'll only have. I'm not trying to say that I'm
silly waster.
No,
how are you going to open a bag and not finish it?
Because I know then
weak mentality.
No, the next night I know that I've got half a bag of sweets still, so I can manage to just And I don't know when I started doing it, but I can manage to have a big bag of sweets and only go through half of it. So
I'll be honest, actually, the last 2 times I did gaming with the boys, I actually didn't have that much. And I did exactly that.
you know what's actually good as a replacement for a bag of sweets? Grapes.
No, yeah, true.
I actually can bang off like.
I actually love grapes as well. I actually love grapes. And my missus has now got, she's always like, just some grapes. But she's like a health freak as well. So she's always like wanting to eat healthier foods. So I'll be honest, big up to her because she's changed my diet loads. Like, I know. So she'll be like,
She'll be Wednesday.
and she'll come up, she'll be like, right, well, I've got us some snacks. So she'll come over,
what are those? They are not snacks!
literally, right? We're about to watch a film. We don't really watch much TV anyway because we're always doing random stuff. But she goes, right, we're going to watch a series. Right? I brought some snacks up. And I'm like, yes. Thinking, biscuits, scummy bacon. What the hell is that? And she's like, well, I've got some strawberries, got some blueberries, and I've got some grapes. I'm like, where the snacks at? That's not snacks. Get that shit out of my face.
What I do.
But no, it's actually banging, to be fair. Do you know what I hate about fruit? It's not consistent. I think it's part of, I've got some problems, but
We know.
some sort of issue, right? But it's not consistent. It winds me up. They never taste like the same. Or you get one, you're like, yeah, love it. Like, oh, what the hell is that? It just winds me up.
But that's nature's way of saying it's natural.
I know.
But yeah, so fruit, but like also like carrots and hummus and all that kind of stuff. So
Wait, did you just call it hummus?
hummus, yeah. I'm gonna try one.
Hummus? Oh, you got it. It's not hummus.
No, hummus.
Hummus. I don't know what it's called, but.
But yeah, but
Wait, did you say tomatoes or tomatoes? That's completely
tomatoes.
Oh, cool.
Fucking American. Big up our American audience. But yeah, so wow. So yeah, I am. Oh well, fuck me. That child obesity in America.
Well, we ain't even going there.
Your kids are fat.
Have you seen some of the meals over there though? Like when you, so I went to Australia. Like the burgers are like much bigger. Like, everything's bigger like, in all the other countries. But also they just put so much more rubbish in their food as well.
But so what was I saying? Yeah, so like me and Dan, we love a film. Well, I love a film. She's more of a TV series person, but I love watching a film.
Yeah.
But then I'll make sure I've got bare snacks. Like I love snacks.
Yeah.
And this is me saying that yes, I do love snacks. Yes, I do love, and I'll say to the kids, "Oh, let's put on a film," and then I'll go and make them like I'll get like 3 Tupperware boxes, and I'll have like a concoction of different snacks and put them in the Tupperware box for the kids.
Yeah,
they have their own little snack box, so like popcorn, crisps, sweets, chocolates, everything. But I'll put it all in a little thing, and I'll do it like maybe some nuts in there as well. But like they'll have that, and they'll watch the film. Like Ivy, she can make a box last the whole film.
Yeah.
Roman,
before the credits done.
Yeah, before the credits done, he's there. He's like, "Can I have some more?" I'm like, "No, that's the whole point of it." And then Sienna has got better, but she used to just like box hers up, and then like Ivy would be like, "Oh, you can have some of mine if you want." Honestly, Ivy's good.
Slow.
Yeah, no, she isn't. She's just smart. She knows that it's going to last a duration.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, so a few stats to kind of go with what we're talking about. So UK child obesity rates, 1 in 4 children in year 6, age 10 to 11.
1 in 4 in year 6.
It's 25%.
Crazy.
25% of the year.
That is crazy.
And we're talking obese, not just like, a bit of puppy fat. We're talking obese.
That is crazy stat.
It's disgusting.
That is. And that age group as well.
Yeah.
Mental.
And that's like literally just before you're going to secondary school. So we've obviously got an episode coming up about bullying. But you're not allowing, I'm not saying it's acceptable to be bullied, but you're not allowing your kid to stand aside like a fighting chance.
Yeah, for sure.
Year 7 onwards, that's when you kind of get into the big world. And
that's when you're getting people worried about saying that. But then I also find working within that industry, a lot of the bigger kids become bullies because they don't want to be bullied. So they become more of a bullying person. So not all the time, but a lot of the time that does happen because they just try and deflect away from them. You know, I'm going to take the mick out of this kid because I'm big. Yeah. So they put on a sort of a fake personality almost because they're trying to cover up the fact that they are quite insecure themselves.
Get them like-
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
Obese children are 5 times more likely to be obese adults.
That's completely, yeah, big stuff.
5 times more likely. That's a joke. Like, literally.
I mean, it's ridiculous, but if you're obese as a kid, you're likely to be obese as an adult.
But then, like, you're always fighting a losing battle because you're then becoming an obese adult, and then you start doing the yo-yo dieting.
Well, let me tell you an interesting fact, right? I don't know if you know this, right? But a lot of people don't really know this, but when you gain fat, your fat cells, you have fat cells in your body. I'm going to do a little science for you. The fat cells swell up, and then you become fatter. But then your fat cells can only swell up to so much. So then your body says, well, you've not got enough fat cells in the body to store fat. So what it does is it creates more fat cells. So now you may have had the normal, say for example, me and you have got 10 fat cells, obviously got thousands, but whatever, right? Our fat cells, when we get fat, they all swell up. And then we run out of space. So the body creates more fat cells. So now you double your fat cells. So now you've got 20 fat cells. Now when you try to lose weight, your fat cells shrink back down, but you can't get rid of the fat cells. So you've still got 20 because you increased your fat cells. I've only got 10. But when we lose weight, should be me, to be honest. But so your fat cells then shrink down. So if you lose all that weight, your fat cells shrink back down, and you can look like you've lost all your weight. But you'll find that you're still always going to be a little bit more jiggly under the skin, right? It's very hard to get rid of that last layer of fat because you have physically got more cells. But also, why always people say, well, I only have to look at food and I put on weight? Because you've got more fat cells. So therefore, all your fat cells expand more. So you will always put on more weight. So if you've got a kid that is obese as a kid, you've essentially, most kids start at 10 fat cells. You started at 20 fat cells. So therefore, all the way through their life, forever, they're going to have more fat cells than every other person. So therefore, they're always going to struggle with their weight. And that's from the very start. So the only way of getting rid of those fat cells is when you have liposuction and physically cut the cells out. So, and a lot of people don't realise, that's why you find your weight start doing this all the time, because you've constantly got this battle. And you have to eat a little bit, your body starts instantly storing it as fat. Yeah, it's interesting.
Why? NHS
Smart than I look.
Yeah, they're very smart.
That's my point.
Lack of physical activity.
Maybe there's some sugar in this stuff. Let's hide it.
Like a whole fucking cup of sugar in there. So you want some tea with your sugar? Lack of physical activity, poor diet, excessive screen time, which is part of the.
Yeah, I mean, let's look at screen time. I mean, I'd
love to see a graph of how screen time has gone up and obesity rates have also gone up with it.
I think right. If you go, I think there's a few main causes of people being overweight now, and I think it was very different some years ago. Right? It's the dopamine that's given to them instantaneously, isn't it? Like they get all the entertainment, everything's all in one place right there, and they don't have to move for it. So why would they? So it's so hard as a parent to take them away from that. I mean, how do you? Obviously, you've got younger ones. How do you deal with that at home?
So for me, I noticed a behavioural change within Ivy when I first came along with that. I think I might have said to you before. This is why I'll always give credit to Dan, because obviously I'm not Ivy's biological father. I came into Ivy's life when she was 2. But she had a tablet when I first got there. Now, before I even had children, I was always like, I don't want my kids on tablets. I don't want my kids on phones. I don't want my kids on screens all the time. So when I got with Dan, I had this tablet. She used to like have it with her, and I used to notice a behavioural change within Ivy as the tablet wasn't there. So when she had a tablet on her, like as soon as she wake up, blah blah blah. Yeah, like she'd be a little bit answering back. You could mad, isn't it? Like she'd answer back a bit more. She didn't play with her toys. Like Ivy's got the most amazing imagination. She could sit there with her toys for hours, just like having conversations and like playing. Like she used to play really nicely, and then that used to not be there as much, and just like little certain like attitude changes, and then the battery would die on it, and then through like just didn't charge it. It would be off for like 3-4 days at a time, and she'd play with her toys. She'd be like really respectful, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, I noticed it. So I said to Dan, I was like, Dan, you notice that when she's got her tablet, her behaviour will change. So then Dan then noticed it as well. So because Dan noticed it, it was kind of like I had case in point to say, like, it's not good for them to be on the tablet all the time. And we used to have like limited times where Ivory would go on a tablet. And then like it's carried on. So now she's got her phone. And it's carried on to that. So like now Ivy's got her phone. Obviously she's only 11 at the moment. But when she goes in second school, I hope it continues and carries on. Where like we can be like, oh, I've just put your phone away, we're gonna go out for a family walk. So, okay. And she'll just be like, okay, put your phone away. Or we'll be like, I've put your phone down, like we're gonna watch something on the TV together. Okay. And like, but I noticed Rome is very much like he'll come in from school and be like, can I go on Mario Kart? Can I go on this? Yeah. And he's only 3 and it's a battle, but Sienna's never had that kind of connection to her tablet. She's got a tablet, which has been by my side of my bed because I'm the only one that has a lead to charge it.
Yeah.
So it's been by the side.
Good idea.
Yeah.
That's actually a smashing idea.
Oh, but so it's been by the side of my bed for like 2 weeks where she hasn't been on it. She took it with her on holiday. And then since she's been back, I think it's literally been by the side of my bed, like not charged up.
Yeah.
So like I don't want them to have screens and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like we watch TV together and probably watch a bit too much TV, but like because of obviously the fitness side of me, I'm just like I'd rather them be out. But also the playing side of it, they play so much nicer when they don't have a screen.
I think the screen, it actually destroys kids. I really do. I never ever wanted my kids to have a screen. The only reason why we got a tablet, Jada won a tablet at school fete, and I genuinely she was only year 2 or something, and she won this tablet, and it was like from day dot I was like, you won't have one, don't have one, and from day dot like she won't have one, but yeah, she won this one, so I was like, well, she just won a tablet. So now I was in my head, I was like, no, I'm not just ain't gonna play with it. And obviously, in all fairness, Nicola was more like, oh, just let play with it. So she ends up playing with this tablet, and it started off with that one tablet, and then it was like, well, actually, that tablet's old now. So now for her birthday, we'll get her the next one, and then that tablet went down to the younger one, to Callum, and it's like now he's got one, he's even younger. Now I personally don't agree with him. I hate them. I don't. My kids weren't allowed a phone until they got to secondary school. I wouldn't have allowed that either, personally.
The only reason I got a phone because we moved house.
Yeah.
She used to walk from school to her nan's house or her nan's to school.
Yeah.
So it was like because the kids had to be at the school at the same time.
Yeah.
So a way of keeping in contact with her while she's doing from school.
So this is exactly the argument Nicola had. She was like, but when they go to school, they're going to need a phone to walk to school. Right? Now, don't get me wrong, I get that point.
I didn't have it when I was a kid.
Didn't have a phone when I was a kid.
I would have had that argument with them, but sometimes you have to pick your battles, innit?
Exactly. So this is exactly what I said to her. I was like, at the end of the day, we can agree that secondary school is a right, you know? Anything before secondary school is too early in my opinion, right? But I personally wouldn't have given it to any of them before then. But obviously, because you gave it to Jada for secondary school, then Callan then wanted it before he even got to secondary school. He was like, oh, well, maybe...
That argument was set up.
Yeah, 100%. And then, because he's now seeing her with one. And then Corey, he doesn't obviously have one in my house, but I have heard he plays on one at his mum's house. But that's up to her. So she has her own rules, whatever. But I would never... the kids know that he's not having a phone, period, until he's at secondary school. And he knows that, because I've told him that several times. So in my perspective, you're not having a phone. But obviously, I can't control what happens in her house. But I just think that's already gears them up to just wanting to be on this all the time.
Yeah.
And then when they're like this, like Corey, for example, he'll come here, and when we get home from school, he'll straight upstairs, boom, chucks the TV on, and is on YouTube. I can't stand YouTube because there's no end. It's not a film. It's just constant stuff. There's never going to be an end to it. There's never going to finish watching it. So I have an app on my phone that turn any TV off in my house, right? And the amount of times, right? So I was cooking dinner the other day, and I said like, Corey dinner. Like, turn it off straight away. Didn't even call him. Just turned the TV off. He's downstairs in 2 seconds. It's like, do you know what I mean? It's like they're locked in.
Right. I've got a rule that they don't watch YouTube. I cannot stand kids' YouTube.
Stop that, not it.
Because they watch other kids playing with toys.
Bro,
And when I've walked into
oh my god, that is my...
when I've walked in there, and there's nonsense on there as well. Like, there's like kids playing in, like, they're grown-ass men playing in play areas.
Yeah.
And then, like, you got kids watching grown-ass men playing in play areas.
Yeah, there's some great stuff.
And I'm like, no, part of that, so they can go on Just Dance, so they do like dances on YouTube. But I honestly cannot stand it. And you know what I saw? What another thing as well, what I fucking can't stand is when you go to like a restaurant and then you've got a family out and then the kids like this.
On a tablet?
Yeah.
No chance.
And then they're like,
no chance.
And like the kids just yamming food.
But then again, that also, if you're sitting there watching the screen and then you're eating, you probably don't even, you're not even understanding what you put in your body. So actually, kids will probably eat more. You know, if I'm gaming, I can be gaming with my boys and I'm like, I'm just eating sweet. And I don't even realise how much you eat. And you're like, where's the sweets gone?
Yeah.
They're gone. Because you're so involved in the gaming that you ain't even realise it. So you don't feel the food. It's just part of what you're doing. So it's the same with the kids. If they're sitting there playing, watching TV whilst they're on the screen, there's no screens at my dinner table. Simple, wherever we are. But I don't even like them taking their phones. I don't like them bringing a tablet out. The only time I let them bring a tablet out of the house, really, is if we're going like on a long drive. Yeah. And even then, I say, look out the window.
But even then, like, because especially with Ivy, she gets car sick. So like, she's not allowed to tablet and all that shit in the car. But yeah, that's one of my biggest pet peeves. When I go to a restaurant, I see like kids just with a fucking screen, and then it's so the parents can have a chat, but involve your kid.
Yeah,
like,
get involved.
And then case of point there. So we went to IKEA, and my kids, like if I did tell my kids right now, I was like, we're going to IKEA. I guarantee all three of them, even Rose, he loves IKEA. So we'll just be like, yeah, because we play tag in there. We fucking play hide and seek.
I love you in there, mate.
I swear to God, we play like hide and seek and everything. Especially, see the, we should do it. All of us.
But we're doing episodes.
Honestly, yeah, it's so much fun. But like, we'll play hide and seek, and then I've got a sick game I'll play with the kids as well. So they get points. If the bigger the item, the more points you get. So say they get like a big fuck off like shark like this, and they put it in someone's trolley, they'll get like 5 points.
You're raising absolute red.
If they put like a little case like this, they get 1 point. But if you put it in a bag, you get double the points. So like, you know, like they have IKEA bags in there.
What?
They'll get double points if they put it in a bag. Honestly, funnest game you can play. Big up Frankie, my boy's daughter.
Yeah.
She's sticking. Like she'll literally like go up to someone with a fucking big thing like this and just put it in their trolley while they're standing there. But Ro will be like, Ro will go over to someone, yeah, and he'll be like, "You want this? You want this?" We go around IKEA and have like the most fun time, and it's just literally doing nothing. But my missus is like, "These kids, they're running around all over the place. Like they look like unruly kids." But I'm like, "Guys, come this way." They listen to exactly what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So it's not like they're unruly; they're just having fun.
Yeah.
And I'm like, we done the whole shop, came towards the exit, and there was this little Asian kid, and he was just on a tablet.
Yeah.
And I was like, Dan, what would you prefer? Yeah, our kids running around having fun.
Yeah.
Or
living a life, experiencing it.
Yeah. Our kids sitting there on a screen, and she was like, yeah, I'd rather my kids do that.
Well, it's cheap babysitting, isn't it? Ultimately, it's cheap babysitting. It's a case of like, if I throw them in front of this, I don't have to interact with them. I don't have to do nothing with them. I can't be bothered with that child. And I think if you do that, it's because you can't bother with your kid.
Bad parenting?
Bad parenting, for sure.
Okay.
Well, or maybe just lazy parenting. You just can't be bothered. You know what I mean? Which I think is probably worse because you can be a bad parent, sort of like just not know. Like, do you know what I mean? But if you know, you're going, here, there's a tablet, child, don't talk.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like. It's cheap babysitting, and it's just like you're teaching your kid to be brain dead. That's actually what you're teaching them. So at least with what you're doing, you're having a laugh and they're having a bit of excitement there. They're understanding. Okay, maybe it's a little bit points where some people might find that annoying, but but they're having a laugh and they're experiencing things.
We'll go IKEA together.
Yeah,
you watch him do it,
mate. I'm so embarrassed with everything like that. I'm so.
You watch him do it, you'll be like, oh, really? It's so much fun.
I mean, I think it'd be funny, but I'll be like, my kids are like, come here, man. Don't be embarrassing me, man. You get caught. Oh, yeah.
Oh, bro. I had one situation where Ivy was doing it, and then Ivy put this thing. Right, so come on. Ivy put this thing in a baby's pushchair. The guy picked up his kid in it, and I think she must have got like a lampshade in his baby's pushchair. Yeah, so the guy holding the kid, and then he comes over to me and goes, "Excuse me, your daughter just put this in the pushchair." I was like, "Ivy, what are you doing? Don't do that." So she took it out. I was like, I had to tell you. Oh, sick, well done.
That's what I'm saying. But that's good though, because I like it because they understand that you're going to get told off.
Yeah.
I say this to my kids all the time, but if it's a bit like when you're at like certain things at school, right? I'll say, if you do get something, you get caught, I'm going to tell you off. But, like, for example, you're getting bullied and you end up having to punch someone in the face because they're bullying you, right? If you get caught, I'm going to have to tell you off. But I have to tell them for school, do you know what I mean? But then when we get back
to school, I'll be like, I told him to do that.
well, yeah,
That's the thing. I don't like school anyway. I've got another episode.
That's another episode. AJ hates school. Right, what's the next thing?
All right, I think we've kind of covered it. Is it bad parenting if your child is obese?
We did cover that.
Yeah, mine is yes, 100%.
Yeah.
Is it lack of time, knowledge, culture, and money? This is one thing we was going to talk about.
Okay, so I think I definitely think so. There's a lack of time because parents are generally just busier now, and I think a lot of the time there was like a big stress for people to be able to afford life. But I think also we all try to live this rich life now because you see the life on Instagram and everyone wants the best and newest things. Years ago, you'd be like, I can't afford those things. I don't have those things. Now we all want everything that the celebrities have all got. So therefore we try to put ourselves into debt together. So now we have less lack of time due to our choices.
But I also think time, I don't think it's lack of, to make a healthy meal is probably just as quick as making an unhealthy meal.
100%.
So when me and Dan first got together, Dan used to cook with jars all the time.
Yeah.
Everything.
Yeah.
Like Dan now, there's no jars in the house.
Yeah.
And when we first got together, she had a salt, pepper, and paprika. I always tell people this. When we first got together, that's the only season.
That's the best season, isn't it?
The only seasoning she had in the house was salt, pepper, and paprika. Now you go to my yard, there's like 2 shelves of just seasonings.
Yeah.
And like, because I'm just like, to make a tomato sauce, I said to her, look at all the ingredients on the back of the tomato sauce.
100%, yeah.
Get all those ingredients and take away the sugar.
Yeah.
There you go, there's the tomato sauce.
Mm-hmm.
So now it's just like chop tomatoes, mix herbs, blah, blah, blah. So, but if you look at the actual jar and look at the sugar content,
oh, it's crazy.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah, it's crazy. The jars I've got, I mean, I'm not saying I don't use jars. Every now and then I'll chuck a jar in. Do you know what I mean? Particularly if it's like certain ingredients not there. So I always do it for like a quick thing every now and then. But generally, like you say, my mum always said when I was younger, as long as you've got certain ingredients in your house, like so for example, my mum always say you always need to have flour in your house. You need to have tomatoes, tin tomatoes, because they don't go off for a long, long time. So you can always use them for certain foods. And so my mum would always say, certain foods, you keep them in your house, you've always got to make sure you've got these certain foods in your house anyway. And with that, you can always make a meal. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? So you'll never go hungry because you've always made something. Yeah. And it's like that. Most of the foods, I mean, literally yesterday, I got home and to quickly chuck on a meal and cutting up some chicken and then frying that up takes literally, obviously, the smaller you cut it, the quicker it cooks anyway. But it just takes 5 minutes to cook some chicken up.
Well, you see, I said to you, I'm coming over to film today.
Yeah.
I went over and made like egg fried rice with chicken.
Yeah. And
it took me like literally 10-15 minutes to make up.
And that's what I'm saying. Even after steak. Like, so this steak on a grill takes like a couple.
This is what I'm saying. It's not time.
It's not time. Yeah.
I think knowledge, definitely.
Knowledge, 100%, because I don't think not enough people know how to cook, what you can cook. People think that healthy food, so they would say, like, for example, like lunches, kids lunches.
I struggle with lunches though.
I've massively struggled with lunches, I'll be honest. But I've got something I do now. But people think like a sandwich, because it's a sandwich, is healthy. But that doesn't mean just because it's a sandwich is healthy. If you throw loads of stuff in it, it's just not healthy. And bread's not that great either. But I think, but there's always bad in everything, isn't there? Do you know what I mean? You can pick apart everything. But I think sometimes people just don't realise what is good and what is bad.
Yeah.
And one of the things I did when I did my personal training course, my PT said to the guy who's coaching us, he said, look at the ingredients and you want the items with the least amount of numbers on them. So if it's a tin of tomatoes and it says tomatoes, perfect, good tin. If it says tomatoes and any other ingredients, not good. Do you know what I mean? So, you get the tins of tomatoes and it's like, oh, these ones are infused with basil. I don't buy them because you'll notice that they've got other ingredients alongside it as well.
So the basil sit in there.
Whatever, yeah. Do you know what I mean? So just buy whatever it is. Do you know what I mean? If it says one item in it, then that's cool. If it's got any more than 3, don't bother buying it. And that's one of the rules he told me when we qualified. And I think that's a rule that a lot of people should try and stick by. But I think, that it's educating people as to what people need, what foods are for. Like, I try to tell my kids all the time.
I always
simply
around protein.
Well, yeah, definitely, yeah, because we know they need protein, and actually, a lot of women don't realise it, but most women are catabolic, which means they don't eat enough protein. And a lot of women in training are catabolic, but now it's a little bit different. Women are starting to see the pros of protein, don't realise it, but protein is massively important.
All right, guys, so I've gone through the analytics and it looks like only 20% of you subscribe. So please do us a massive favour and pause the video and subscribe.
And muscle growth is hugely important as well on a complete separate note, particularly for women going through menopause.
Also as well, fats. Everyone's always like, no, it's got fats in it, but fats is so good.
Yeah, you need fats.
Yeah. Especially females as well.
Yeah.
Because it's for
their hormones. Yeah. And that's the thing. I think what people don't realise, I think, avoid all fats. Actually, I'd say the carbs are the carbs are that's the problem, really.
Which is sugar.
Yeah.
This is where I always say, oh yeah, I didn't have any sugar today. So what did you eat? Oh, I had this, I had that, I had that.
Bread,
so,
carbs.
Yeah, so it's sugar.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
That's what carbohydrate is a sugar.
Yeah.
So
that's people don't realise that's where.
And this is where. Sorry to interrupt.
No.
But this is where schooling systems need to do better because I've got so many great bears with this whole topic. But you go and pick up the kids from school,
yeah,
and every day it's one fucker's birthday, and every day
it's given out.
Every day, literally, they come home with sweets, this, sweets that, sweet this, thing that, and it's like. No,
giving my kids sweets.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then you feel like the bad one by saying you don't need that.
Yeah.
But then, Dad, can I have this? Dad, can I have this? Dad, can I have this? And it's every day.
And the ice cream man outside the school.
Yeah. And then it's like, schools are a massive problem because every day it's one fucker's birthday. They should have a complete ban rule of bringing sweets and at the end of term. Yeah. But they should just do at the end of term, they have a celebration for every kid whose birthday who was in that term.
That's a fair point.
And then they just have one cake and everyone's like, yeah, cool, we're going to celebrate your all 6, 7 of yours birthdays today. And then it gives them something to look forward to. And then the end of that next term, all 6 or 7, and then you've done.
That's a good point. That's a good point. A good way of doing it. I do agree. It is quite annoying with the schools when they do that. And I've been there before, and sometimes Corey's come home with more than one bag because it's more than one kid's birthday the same day. So no, I do agree. That's not a bad idea. But where I think it's not just the schools specifically, I think it's the government system. And I think if you look at any other animal on the planet, right, when the mum is teaching the cub, baby, whatever it is, right, she ain't teaching him, educating him on anything else other than how to survive, right? So survival is the most important thing. And what is survival? Eating good, getting food, learn how to get food, learn how to prepare your food, and learn how to eat your food and what to eat. They ain't going around. So that's the most important thing. So why is it in schools we're doing so much education around bullshit? Yeah, and I don't get me wrong, maths is all important, English is important. I don't need to. Maybe just me. My kid doesn't need to learn religious education at school. If he wants to be religious, their family will be religious. Understand, I think the only thing they should learn... Understand the cultures, and understanding there are a lot of other cultures out there, fine, yeah? And understand we must respect every person's religion, every person's thing. Cool, that's fine. That's as far as I need to know.
Yeah.
I don't need to know that my kid doesn't need to know about every other religion, every other event. I don't think that's relevant.
See, I do like the fact that they do learn about religious education because I'm from a non-religious background.
Yeah.
Dan isn't really religious at all. So I do like the fact that they are learning about other people's religions, and I feel that you become more open to other cultures if you're learning about it, because a part of racism is ignorance. So if you're learning about like Muslims fast, so I fasted for Ramadan like 2 years ago, and Ivy's very invested in like learning about different cultures, the same as me. So then she was like, "Can I do Ramadan with you?" So she done Ramadan with me, like only for the weekends, but she done it with me because she wanted to know what her Muslim friends are learning and what they're doing for themselves. So I disagree with you on the sense of there are so many fucking subjects which we could easily wipe out within the educational system.
Yeah, and that's for me. I think that's like you did. You did that, so you taught her. The school didn't need to.
No, but she knew about it because she's got Muslim friends and she's understanding.
I don't want to learn about it. It's not I don't want to learn about it. All of it. I just think there's less of importance of learning about that than there is of learning about how to survive.
Oh, I think Shakespeare can get easily fucked off the card.
But again, I think all of those really, but especially in the younger years. I think personally, if I was the government, which that would be a terrible thing for the rest of the world, I assume. But
I don't know. You're a working man, so the government are so far away from what
removed of what they're
So having to think about the pounds that you're spending because you need to put food on the table. You being in government would actually be more beneficial to then someone who doesn't even know how much a loaf of bread is, never had to worry about where the next meal's coming from.
Yeah, true.
So, because Danny Dyer brought up recently saying about like all the people in government have never had to think about certain things which we're actually thinking about on a daily basis.
And they're
in control of 60% of the population who are in that daily struggle. They don't know anything about that daily struggle.
No, that's true. I think, so if I was I would basically, the way I would do primary school is it would just simply be learning how to move, cook, look after yourself, cleanse your personal hygiene, your respecting others. There would be my main things. I'd be like primary school, tiny bit of maths and obviously a tiny bit of English, like to learn, obviously read and write and say that. And that was all I'd be teaching. And it would be taught in like a fun, like way of like we're going to learn it all together.
In the Scandinavian countries, that's how they teach school.
Yeah,
the primary school is all about like, and it's
real life skills.
It's free as well, and they do like a lot of the Scandinavian education system is leaps and bounds above the English.
But this is what I mean. That's how I would do it. I would have it because we learn how to. Our kids will be healthier. Our kids will be stronger in their minds. And I'd just I'd almost keep all digital out of my schooling completely, like nothing digital.
That's another thing. So all of their homework now
is all
on the tablet.
Mate, it winds me up. So what if I can't afford a computer?
Exactly.
Mate,
exactly that.
Winds me up, mate, honestly. When the teacher says to me, oh, he didn't do his maths homework. What? Why didn't he?
Wi-Fi.
Oh, it's because it's supposed to be on Team Rockstars. Well, we ain't got a PC. What do you expect him to do?
Yeah.
So I think it's wrong. But
what happens to like paper printing?
Yeah.
And just give them like work to bring home with.
Well, they're trying to save the planet.
Well,
while destroying.
Yeah, there's many different ways other than printing out 30 sheets of paper that you could work on before, like, to save the planet.
Yeah, I just think
get rid.
You just lost an entire audience. I hate vegans. Yeah, I just think that's how I would run it anyway. I think that's an important just to keep it. And then when you go to secondary school, now you start learning your more in depth into your sciences and your maths and your English and other subjects, and you can keep growing. And now you're having to stay at school until you're 18 anyway. You can extend that throughout those years anyway. But I also think, let's be honest, when you go to secondary school, you relearn all the stuff you learn in primary school. And I think if you taught the kids how to act, then when they get to their next school, they're in a better, healthier state of mind anyway. Mm-hmm. So they're more willing to learn in secondary school. Well, they would be more willing to learn. I think secondary school, you get a big, massive dropout. Kids don't even want to learn. But they'd already learned how to be self-sufficient. They'll be much more
do like building stuff and like
That's what I'm saying. Yeah,
art as well.
but fun
What
ways.
I'd love to see is like they teach more about business and running.
Mhm.
So I'm qualified as a mortgage broker,
Mm.
and so during my first part of my mortgage broking course is all about financial literacy and blah blah blah. So as I was doing that, I found it so interesting. I was running into that. I was like, damn, this is the stuff that they need to teach in schools
Mhm.
because I'm learning this. I've done my course 3 years ago, so I was 34. I was learning it at 34. I was like, this is shit that should have been taught in secondary school
Yeah.
about economics, about I didn't know what inflation was, and then but this is the stuff that should have been taught in schools.
This is where the schools are failing.
Yeah.
It's not schools; it's the government, isn't it? Like,
But they don't want to teach you it because they want you to be the next.
that's a whole another.
They want you to be
subject.
the next tax-paying person. That's all they want. They don't want you to be an entrepreneur. They don't want you to have creative minds.
100%. Yeah, because
they
why they give you these tablets?
Yeah, exactly that.
So yeah, back to the
Yeah,
you know, when you see your rent going in it.
So culture and money, as we've already established, money I feel like is just as affordable to get a healthy meal.
Sometimes not. So for example, you can think you can get something healthy. I don't know, like a pack of chicken, for example. You might get cooked chicken, and you think like it's cooked, done. That's quite quick. So you're going out for a lunch or whatever. I buy a pack of cooked chicken. I do the kids chicken and a wrap. That's what they have for lunch. But sometimes in the packs of chicken, there's an app. You can scan it and it says what it's in it. It's quite good. It's a good app. I can't remember what it's called. But you scan it and it tells you what's good and what's bad. And it just goes through and says, this one's got this many E numbers and it's got this chemical in it. This one hasn't. Choose this one, it's better. And it doesn't necessarily mean it's more expensive. Sometimes the cheaper one's better. But it's not all foods are equal. And it's crazy because you think you're getting something healthy and there's so much hidden stuff in there. But quite often, if you want organic and you want foods that are cooked and done, it's expensive. And then
But choosing fruit as opposed to chocolate.
it's definitely
Choosing fruit as opposed to like crisps and sweets and shit like that. So I do think money does definitely play a part in it. But to get, I think we should do, I've got an
a
idea.
little shop.
Yeah, like we can do like a,
Give each other a $5 when someone's buying it. Yeah.
and then we just do like, cook a healthy meal for
Let's do it.
however much.
We'll chuck it on our Patreon.
Yeah, baby. So, culturally,
Why are you laughing? Because I know.
I'm not even going there. Yeah, you're
remember you've already offended your
the
your
vegans.
mother-in-law, yeah. So
I won't even go in there. See, you, fucking stir. I swear to God. Listen, hold up. It's not me, it's him. He's trying to stir the pot. I want our relationship to be like that, okay? Please don't let him come between us. So watch it anyway.
especially not this far in. I think culturally, like I think, look, the old culture is like English is the fish and chips sort of thing, sausage, mash and beans as an English food. I personally don't think culture plays too much of a deal because I think nowadays no one really eats off their own culture anymore. Anyway, let's be honest. England's very multicultural. There's so many different cultures. In fact, I'm pretty sure that the most eaten food in England now is a curry.
That's just been like that for a year.
Yeah, so I'm pretty sure that's not an English meal. So, but it is. You know what I mean? So I don't think culture really has any kind of bearing on it personally in terms of the actual obesity. I think, I don't think it has much of an effect really on their food they're eating.
I thought you was actually going to go further in with that.
No.
Do your kids prefer iPads over going outside? I'd love to see your opinion on this because I know what your kids are like.
Right. Actually, a lot of people are surprised about my kids, right? Because I do have generally fairly active kids. But I can tell you now, it ain't easy. And people, it ain't easy, mate. I think people think, your kids are right. They go out, they on play. No, they don't. No, they don't.
You force them to.
Yeah, sometimes I have to. Sometimes it means I turn the TV off. Sometimes I have Corey, I've come in so many times, I just come in and turn the TV off and he's like, but then it starts screaming up the place, crying. Corey, so I came home yesterday and the TV's not on. So therefore he's like, he was straight in the garden. He made a complete mess of my garden, but he's out there doing balloons, digging out the grass. I love him when he's like that. He destroyed my garden, but I absolutely love him when he's like that. much better than when he comes home and he's just like on the TV.
Yeah.
So my kids are very much like Callum's always into his computers. He loves gaming with his boys. And part of that is like, I'm like, dude, I ask him, I literally have this constant argument, like, mate, like, no, you could do, mate. You could go and experience life. And he'll come in and he'll go, I wind him up and joke about it. The other day he was moaning, he's like, oh, it's going to take 3 hours for this to download. I said, guess what doesn't need downloading? Outside. I mean, doesn't need to upload that, doesn't need to download, no shaders. It's ready for you, mate. Just go play. And he's like, oh, shut up, Dad, shut up, Dad. Because he loves being on the computer. But in the same breath, they all love being outside. And I think, actually, I'd argue that all kids love being on the computer, but they also all love being outside. It's about making sure you force them to go outside sometimes. So if you once you turn it off, you might come against, it's a short-term argument, but then a long-term game, you know what I mean? So like you said, as soon as I turn all those off and everything's off, then it's all of a sudden like, oh, and they realise, it's almost like, I can't even explain it, but they become like, it's like they've been in a cocoon and they're like locked into this little thing, and then you shake and break the cage open and like, no, close the door. And then once they've come out, like, wow, look out here. Yeah. And all of a sudden they're different kids and like, nah, can we do this again? And they're like loving, and you're like, that's your child. That's the child that you don't realise you have. And I think, once again, and that if we do that and we play, but I tell you where a lot of parents go wrong, and it's a later point on that thing. Parents don't, like you said earlier, and I love that, because as much as if you're an absolute rebel, you're teaching your kids the worst things going down. But that's completely expected of you. But anyway, right? I love the fact you're playing with them, right? And I think, you know, a lot of people talk about how they're obese, or, you know, I'm on too much weight. And I've said it's another podcast, right? Play with your flipping children. Play with them. Go to the park and play. I haven't got this body type because I just constantly sit at home and play and tell my kids to go and play. The amount of parents I see, kids do not learn by words. Kids learn by actions and see. They see and learn. They what's it called? They copy what their parents are doing. If you go to the park and you go on, Johnny, go and play, and then you go and sit on your phone for the next 2 hours, they're like, why would I do that when I could do that?
It's so easy to do that. That's the worst thing about it. That is the worst.
Because we all got work, and I'll be honest, it's not like I'm always at the park playing with them. You know what I mean? I'll say to the kids, look, kids, I want to play a bit, but I've got to do a bit of work. So sometimes you've got to do a bit of work. I'm not saying but play with them. Go out and actually have a laugh. Go and play a game of tag with them. I remember my mum was young. When we were younger, my mum used to come out every now and then and play run-outs with us. And, you know, parents would be out on the street playing and running around. I think, play with your kids. Have a laugh with them. You might actually have some fun. You might lose some weight. You might include, do you know what I mean? You might encourage your kid to lose weight and to be a healthier kid, but also you might just all have a good time with the family. And I think
I love laughing with my kids. I literally love it. Like, it's like, last night, Dan won't appreciate me doing this, but I was wrestling with the kids.
Yeah, they never do.
We was having a pillow fight, and like I was like, Ro's into wrestling at the moment. I was like, Ro, tag me in. Because he was fighting with Sienna.
Yeah.
So then Ro tagged me in. I was jumping off the sofa. I was jumping off the sofa, just like fucking hitting Sienna with a cushion. Hey! Boom! I'm like, get out of here! I'm jumping off the put, everything. Yeah.
I think that's called lead store nowadays. Be careful.
Hands on my own.
Yeah, bro was just jumping off purpose.
I was back in the day. No, I'm joking. I am actually joking. Got gay friends.
His dog's gay.
No, I would have a dog was gay. But yeah, so like,
we should point out actually one of his best mates is actually gay.
Yeah, he is. We got Luke. Massive queer.
Say that.
Yeah, he's actually down my phone as Luke, my favourite gay, I think. Yeah.
Fair play. Is that what he's trying to chat now?
He wants to bum your head off.
I don't know if you should say this.
Oh, well.
Anyway.
Yeah, she does. Big up, Luke.
We got with this. It's about PC. Not about me.
Yeah, he ain't obese.
Okay, fine.
How do we educate food? How do we educate kids about food and movement in a way that sticks? Well, I think
do it.
primary schools. What would I like to see actually? Every morning. Yeah. Every morning in primary schools they have PE. Literally every morning.
Yeah, straight up.
So as soon as you get there, you go and do some form of physical activity. I don't know what it is, don't really care. Just like, even if they've done like child yoga every morning. That would be so good.
Every day should be PE.
So we was looking for a nursery for Rome. And this is probably going to offend people, but I don't really care. So we were looking for a nursery for Rome. And we went into this one nursery and me and Dan went in there and there was morbidly obese women looking after these kids. And it was like, we went into like the baby room because Rome was only like tiny at the time. We went into this baby room and there was this fucking thing. She was huge. She was like literally just like a blob, just sitting on the floor with all the babies around her. She, oh yeah, sometimes you have like 30 kids in it. I was like, right, like there's no movement at all going on from this bird. And we walked out, said to Dan, I like, there's no way my son is coming in because all of them were fat as fuck and like they're not teaching my kid anything. Like, and there's like 30, 40 of them, so he's gonna just be neglected by himself. I was like, there's no way my son's coming in. And then we went to another one where, we went to another nursery, and there was a black woman from London. It was a child man. There was a black woman from London and a northern white bird who like owned this nursery. As soon as I walked in there was like 6. They would have a maximum of 6 children there.
Yeah.
I was like, Ro will have one-to-one time. He'll have like a representation of home with their like northern and white, black and London. I was like, he'll have a representation of home. I was like, that's so important to me.
Yeah.
So I was like, he's come here. And both me and Dan, as soon as we walked in there, we had an agreement straight away, like, this is the place for him. Because like they loved him to bits. Like he was so good there, he was so settled. Like he was like a proper, it was like really nice and it was like very homely as well.
Yeah.
So like it was a home from home for him. So
no, I think that's important as well, isn't it? Like, but obviously, hopefully with that second one that you took them to, there'd have been probably, because there's less of them there, there'd have been some sort of cooking within it and stuff like that. So I think, and to be honest, we went to, the kids my kids went to, nursery went to, and they were actually really, really good. I wouldn't say they were all in perfect shape. I'm not looking for people to be in perfect shape.
not perfect shape,
but
when they're
I also,
pretty okay.
yeah, no, I also agree. So my daughter used to do, she used to do it, I'm not going to say what it is, something when she was younger, a sport, and it was taught by a very, very overweight woman. And I was like, how are you teaching this?
You've got me curious and you've got the audience curious.
Yeah, but I'm not going to say it because I don't want to say it. So, but yeah, I just thought you can't teach this sport when you're.
Can't do it.
Yeah, no, you can't do it because you get to a point. You're a coach. I'm a coach, and I can teach the highest level of tricks, but I can't necessarily do those tricks myself, particularly not anymore. It's sad times, isn't it? But you got to look a little bit like the role. Like, if you're a personal trainer, for example, and you're really overweight, you've got to look a bit like the role. At the end of the day, it is what it is. You've got to practice what you preach a little bit. In coaching, it's a little bit different because your coaching technique's not.
Yeah.
But I still think you have to have an element of like, I remember when I was at gymnastics centre and the coaches there were most of them were overweight, but they used to stop halfway through the gymnastics and then tell the kids that these kids are going straight from school at 3 o'clock and 4 o'clock in the afternoon and they'll be there till 8, 9 o'clock every day. So what they used to do is they used to tell the kids, go and get McDonald's after food. And I'm like, wait a minute, you're telling all these potential like Olympic athletes to know McDonald's halfway through their training session every day. It's the one the coaches to come in. I don't know, you see everyone sat down with all their McDonald's. I'm like, bro, what are you teaching here? Do you know what I mean? At the end of the day, what are you teaching? And I think that's the stuff that winds me up because I think even when people don't realise that you are mostly about food. When it comes to being obese, it's mostly food. Obviously, you need to move, obviously, but you need to eat good still, and in your quantities that you're eating as well. A lot of people don't realise that you should only eat what you're actually using. So
Just for 2 seconds.
Huh?
You know exactly what I'm about to do.
you win. AJ's going for a wee. He's a fucking child. Can't hold a wee in for like 2 seconds. Fucking, it's a fucking disappointment. I'm not gonna lie. He watches his back. Right. And when you edit this, just make him look really bad. Right. Back.
What?
So that's the
Find my girl.
Bro, I don't know if I can tell.
No.
Oh, fuck's sake. Yeah. So I'm saying a lot of people don't realise that the basal metabolic rate, how many calories that your body burns. And I think we should all learn what that is.
They
Because
should teach that in school.
they should teach it in school, but also they should need to teach it to parents too. So I think they should be teaching parents what that even is. And then you add your activity to that and it tells you how many calories you're eating. Because we all go off the government basis of, oh, women eat this much.
1,500 and then men eat 2,000 or 8.
But that is completely that's a complete guesstimation, realistically.
Depending on your height, depending on like.
Exactly. And then if you go to, in fact, if you search specific nutrition, you should be able to find it out. And you can work out how many grams of protein you're supposed to eat a day. So if you're like trying to build muscle, you want to eat 2 times your body weight in grams. So if you weigh 100 kilos, you want to have 200 grams of protein a day if you're trying to bulk up. But it's normally 1.5 at least, or 1.25. No, not just in bulking up, just in general. You should have at least your body weight in grams in protein every day. So if you weigh 50 grams, you should at the very least, have 50 grams of protein. I think more than that, more like 75. But anyway, I think people don't realise that. So those little bits of information can actually help you just generally eat better.
But also, like, actually knowing your plate of food. So having a big plate of food there in front of you and knowing the actual if there was a number next to the plate of food which you're putting out.
Imagine if you took a picture of it and it just told you what's in it.
Then like sauces, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But, like, if you had a plate of food and then you had to pick like the number next to how much that plate of food was worth. Say you had a plate of scramble and it was like 2,000 calories. And you'd be like, all right, I know that I've had 3 meals already today, and that's 2,000 calories.
So I've already well and truly gone over.
It would make you think.
Another thing they learned in college, right? So when I did my college, they said you only should eat what fits in your hand.
Yeah.
Did you learn this?
And then
Well, we learned it's only what fits in your hand. The thumb and the palm, this part here, should be your protein. This should be your veg. And then this is how much carbs you can have. And carbs and fat, or I can't remember exactly what it was. But only what fits in your hand. That's what you should be eating every day. Or each meal per meal. And that, instantly, you eat like that, you because we're not supposed to like just sit. Because then when you eat a massive meal, but I grew up with a massive meal. To be honest, we used to have a big meal, and then
you go back to like ancestor days where people would have like 1 meal in a day, or like 1 meal over a couple of days, and it was they didn't overeat. They ate every part of the like animal that they'd kill or whatnot, and then like graze on berries and stuff like that. So if you actually look back at, I don't know where this 3 or 4 meals a day came from, because inherently our body isn't supposed to eat that much food, because literally as you're eating, it's just causing inflammation within the gut, and it's circulating inflammation because you're not actually supposed to eat that amount of food per day. I
think as well, people don't realise that. Like, you know, people that I need to eat, I'm going to do some training. 1 banana is enough to do a heavy like training session.
Well, I mostly train fasted.
Yeah.
Even if I'm training at like 2, 3 in the afternoon.
Yeah, so I do quite often as well.
And
feel better for it. Like, I feel like.
Well, I was always like, I can't do legs if I haven't eaten. But then I started training fasting, and surprisingly, you can. There's all this.
It is. I do find when I'm working my legs, when I'm training like legs, or if I'm doing like, I do burn calories really fast. I've got high metabolism anyway, but I do burn calories fast. So I do find like I'm like a little bit like, whoa, I've gone, and I know straight away I've gone hypo. Yeah. So I do find that if I'm doing a leg day, it's better if I have a banana. But
like, so I used to think I have to eat like loads of food before I train, blah blah blah. But then randomly got cramp in the leg. Sorry, mate. I need a banana. I need a banana, bro. All right. But like, I heard this quote. I don't know where I heard it from, but hunter-gatherer doesn't go to hunt on a full belly.
Hmm.
So me hearing that, I was like, no, I'm training fasted. I'm training fasted.
Yeah,
So,
true.
Like, it's true though. So you don't have the same instincts as you do if you've got a full belly. You're not going to sit there and go, I'm going to go and catch some gazelles today.
Yeah, yeah.
You're sitting there with a massive full derby on you. You're like,
Yeah.
So
100%. But you look at how when a snake's eating, it's basically just lays there for
like storming. Yeah.
for ages until the food's gone and it's like, I'm now starving, now I can go hunt. Yeah. Imagine a snake trying to hunt the full belly.
Yeah.
It's true, it makes no sense. So when you actually think about that, it's actually a really interesting way of thinking it, because we eat, like, we do eat so much, but we eat because we're bored, and that's what I think a lot of the time is. Boredom, like, we ain't got enough going. We always talk about how the world's difficult and stuff, but I think, to be honest with you, like, that's good saying. Was it good times creates weak people. Weak people create bad times. Bad people. And it's true, because we've got stuff. We've got it so good right now that we're actually just weak as humans now. So because it's so good, there is food available. There is everything's available to us.
Everything being so readily available also creates an inherent laziness, which
Yeah.
also creates
A problem.
Yeah,
And
which is where the obesity is probably coming from.
Because you sit there and just chill and eat.
Like back in the day, when to make coffee, you have to get the coffee beans, you ground the coffee beans, then you like boil and get Now it's just like instant coffee. There you go. So even those, like, even just grounding the coffee beans,
it would cost you some energy.
Yeah,
100%. I think
everything's just readily there.
Yeah, 100%. I think that is the major thing, isn't it? Like, because everything is just so easy. Life is so much easier now. So we just and we're trying to make it easier and easier and easier until there's such a point where we're not needed in it. And that's the crazy thing, isn't it? Because eventually we're not going to be needed in life.
Yeah.
Because everything will be so easy, so we don't need humans.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Well, so this is where, like, I read a book called Sitting Up to a Standing World, and it talks about, like, you wake up in the morning, you get in your car, you go downstairs, you have your breakfast, so you're sitting down. So you've gone from lying to now sitting. Then you get in your car, drive to work, you're sitting. Then you get to work, sitting at a desk. Then you go, most likely eat your lunch at your desk.
Yeah.
Then you get back in your
sit
car.
down somewhere.
Yeah. And then you get back in your car. You then drive home. You sit down. You have your dinner.
Yeah.
You sit down. You watch Netflix.
Oh, you sit on my sofa on nappies.
And then you go to lie down. And then you repeat the whole cycle again. So throughout that day,
I'm not gonna lie.
done. Fuck all.
I'm not gonna lie, it does sound quite nice.
But like,
because I can guarantee, I say to my
I'll
kids all the
guarantee
time,
that relates to a lot of people.
100. But for me, and there's my kid said to me the other day, like, Dad, you actually never sit down. Like, I genuinely don't sit down. Like, this is the most sitting I do, bro.
Oh, I've never seen you sitting down.
But like, when I'm teaching kids, I'm always standing up there. I stand up and work all day long, and then when I get home, I'm always walking around tidying up, cleaning up. I barely ever sit down, and even when the kid, I don't watch TV, so I can count on one hand how many times I'll sit and watch a TV a week. You know what I mean? And even if I do it, like, it'll be before bed type of thing. On a Friday night, I game, but other than that, before I game, I go to gymnastics and do parkour in the evening. So like, I'm mostly like active all the time.
That's what I miss doing VT. Like,
Yeah.
on an average day, you're doing 12,000 steps just by walking around the gym and talking to people, training clients, and you're constantly moving. Like, I'll be showing exercises to clients, and then I'll be standing there or get down on the floor with them and like coach them and stuff like that. So I miss PTing because
is your job sitting down now?
I work for Neighbour Rouse, so I don't really do a lot.
Brilliant.
No, it's like, so I'm on track, but my department, we don't go out during the day. So generally we're just waiting for a phone call during the day, or like, unless we've got stuff to do during the day.
So you're just chilling all day?
Yeah, pretty much.
Mate.
So
I literally don't. I honestly don't. I don't sit down the whole day.
yeah, traffic management, honestly, you
All day.
put out a job and then you just chilling in the van. Well, I'll get out of the van.
I'd be bored of that. I couldn't do that.
Squats, like literally, you'll see me by the side of the van. I'm just like,
I don't need weights with me to the gym. Nah, man. But I think that's the thing. I think you're right. What you're saying is most people's job is quite sedentary, and then they get home and it's sedentary, and they don't do very much. And I think that's why. And if you've got kids as well, it's exhausting mentally. So therefore, but I think your energy levels are connected to your excitement and everything else. So the more you do, the more energy you have. So people say to me all the time, I say to people what I've done in a day, I'd love to see your life. People said that to me, I'd love to see your life, but what you do, because don't understand how you can do the amount of things I do on a day. And I think, even like my girlfriend yesterday, she was like, I got back, I hadn't eaten most all day, I'd done my mate's house, I come back, went kickboxing, come back, and then she was exhausted. And then I ended up making dinner. And then I've been working, I mean, she'd been at work and she'd been up early, but I'd been at work and she was like, oh, I don't even know how you've got the energy to do all that, like, sort of thing. It needs to be done. Because it needs to be done.
Yeah.
Not just that it needs to be done. Like, I have the energy because I'm always doing it. Do you know what I mean? So if I would have spent most of my life just chilling, I probably wouldn't have the energy either. But I think the more you do, the more energy you have. And it's as simple as that.
Your body's then like, all right, I'm used to this shit.
Yeah. And also, mate, for me, maybe I've got some sort of ADHD. I don't know, mate, but I can't.
Some.
I can't really stay still that much.
I know.
This is the stillest I stay in a day, and it kills me for a little while. I ain't gonna lie. After this podcast, I have to get up and do a little pirouette. But yeah, I can't help it. I don't really like staying still. But yeah. But that's the thing.
Well, I think we've covered all our points.
Yeah, definitely. What do you guys think? Is obesity the parent's fault? Are you a rubbish parent because your kid's overweight?
Is your kid overweight?
Is your kid overweight? Would you like advice and to help your kid? I'd happily, if anyone's actually genuinely, I'm a qualified PT of 20 years. If anyone actually has any genuine questions about how to help their kids lose weight or themselves lose weight, I'm happy to sit there and give out some information. Just sign up to the Patreon. But no, I'm happy to give out some advice. So feel free, hit us up with a message if you actually want some advice on losing weight or just understanding nutrition a bit better. And yeah, I'll be happy to give out some advice.
It's definitely got like more legs to do another kind of topic point around this because I feel like it is a huge subject and it's one I'm passionate about, and I know that you are as well.
Yeah, for sure. And you can tell when we're talking about it, we're like,
we'll be in the government at some point and going into schools and making this happen. Because
I'd love to do it. I would love to change it. The secondary school, I can completely understand that they need that, but for primary school, I'd love to complete. I know Jamie Oliver's done all that sort of stuff. He's changed a lot of the food in schools, and I think that's brilliant. But I just think the entire system needs a good overhaul. And let's just stop worrying about educating your child and being like the smartest kid on the earth. I know that sounds really against what most people would say, but do you know how many smart people are that I've seen that are just unhealthy and they just die before? Do you know what I mean? At the end of the day, look, life is for living.
Sugar is the cousin of cancer.
Yeah, I mean, they say, so diabetes, type 1, type 2 is diabetes of the sugar, blood and diabetes, whatever. But they say type 3 diabetes is diabetes of the brain, which is your dementia, or Alzheimer's, however you say them. And
so all connected to sugar.
Yeah, it is. They say it's all from the brain. That's type 3 diabetes, and that's sugar being released into the brain. And I think that's, I mean, again, we've already established that I eat a lot of sugar. I don't know if I eat as much as we joke around, but I don't eat I've never drunk Coke. No.
Empty your pockets.
No, there's nothing in there. There's nothing in there.
Just put one.
Yeah, just now. But yeah, I empty him out before he comes in because he always checks me. But yeah, I think it's a good episode, and I think if anyone's got any questions on it, then by all means, if you don't like what we say,
write a comment. It helps the algorithm.
So can you hate us on the comments?
All of your Karens can come together and just absolutely bash us.
Yeah.
Because I will personally respond to all the comments or but
mostly him.
Yeah, I'm on YouTube Studio all the time. But yeah, so by all means, comment. If you disagree with what I say, then I'd love to hear you.
Away.
Fact. No one with a skinny kids is going to be like, no, I disagree exactly what you're saying. But no, honestly, hit us in the comments because I'd love to know what you're thinking as well.
And look, it's not a case we're trying to fat shame parents anyway. We look at the end of the day, we understand that there's a lot of educational miss in there. And I think on a serious note, we joke around and say a lot of things, but on a serious note, I would like to help people. I
But
not have to.
I've also said that it is a lack of education.
It
And
is
I feel
a-
like a lot of parents don't understand that it is cost effective to have a healthier meal.
But the information is out there.
Yeah.
So it's there. So just go find it.
Don't be lazy. Oh, fact.
Anyway, I think that's it. On that note,
On that note,
where did it?
yeah, sweet.
Peace.
Dad, are you finished yet? Dad.
Yeah, man. We finished this episode now. Come on, let's go out, kids.